Good evening, everyone. We are live. Today, we are going to be focusing on how to find a good mentor when it comes to business and how to avoid some schemes and scams. Many of you have reached out to me via email. A few of you young brothers have actually came to me and said you have a few $1,000, 5,000, 10, $15,000, and you're looking to invest. So today, we're really going to focus on what to watch out for and what are key things that good mentorship has. So, as usual, we're going to give it about another 2 to 3 minutes before we start the live stream. So, as you come into the stream, please like the video. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you can actually be notified when I'm going live or when I post the video. If you would like to follow my other social media platforms such as Instagram and Twitter, those links will be in the description below. Also, if you want to support the channel as far as donating to the channel, I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to, my Cash App is in the description and my PayPal is in the description below. It's free to like the video, so if you don't want to donate anything, the least you can do is like the video, and also please share the video. And we have our first troll in here. And also type 1 in the chat if you can see me clearly and you can hear me clearly. So I can see myself, so I look good from there. Let's get rid of this one troll and we're good to go. So as usual, we'll start in about a minute. So yeah, so give it about another minute and a half and we'll get ready to start. Thank you, being happy for hitting the like. As you guys come in, thank you so much. So so you can see 79 seconds. Good evening. North Carolina's in the house. Okay, so everyone can see and hear me clear. That's great. So what's going on? 1 so everyone can hear and see me. We're 110 seconds in. So another 50 seconds and we'll get ready to get started. For those of you who may not know, the thumbnail that I actually decided to use was from the Karate Kid. It was with Mr. Miyagi and Daniel. And let me drop this link into the chat for those of you. Paste it. So it's a scene in the Karate Kid, right? Where Daniel wants Mr. Miyagi to teach him how to fight. So he's basically going to Mr. Miyagi and he's working in his yard. And Mr. Miyagi has him doing all of these weird tasks where he has him painting the fence. He has him waxing the floor, wax on, wax off. And then he's doing also sanding the floor. So after like the 4th day, Daniel gets pissed off and he goes to Mr. Miyagi and he says, what's going on? I've been here 4 days and you're still not teaching me how to fight. And Mr. Miyagi responded and said, I'm actually teaching you. You've learned plenty. And he said, BS, I didn't learn anything. He was about to quit. So then Mr. Miyagi put him in front of him. And he said, do wax on, do wax off. Then he said, paint the fence. And then he started to try to attack him. And then he started doing the moves. And he didn't realize that those basic little things that he was doing in the yard with Mr. Miyagi was actually teaching him how to defend himself. Now, what do I mean by that? It's the same thing in business. Many of you are coming to this video and you're looking for some type of a secret. And the sad thing and the funny thing about it is there are no secrets in business. It's the basics. It's mastering the basics and then eventually applying those basic things to create leverage in your life. See, many of you are looking for a lottery ticket, which is why it's so easy for you to get schemed and bamboozled. So what inspired me to make this, and let me I'll put it in already. What inspired me to make this video, and I'm going to send this video to the young brother who emailed me, and he said that he has $25,000 and he's looking to invest. What should he invest in? And the fact that you even have to ask me that question should already answer it for you. You need to go and invest in some education, because he was talking about how he was looking to invest with Brother Polight, but after seeing my video and other people's video, it basically kind of, made him shy away, which is a good thing. But understand, You learn business by doing business. But before you can even get to that point of doing business, you first have to get the basics as to whatever industry or niche you're looking to go into. And if you're investing in something and you don't know what you're doing, you're setting yourself up for failure. See, you need to look at a 3 to 5 year plan. There are no magic pills, there are no secrets, there are no shortcuts. Now, having a good mentor can speed up your learning curve. Having a bad mentor or having a scammer or schemer defraud you can hurt you. So today what we're going to focus on is how to seek out good mentorship. Now again, right now I'm Mr. Miyagi. I'm giving you the wax on and the wax off. I'm giving you the paint the fence. I'm giving you the sand the floor. For some of you, you're going to say, what's the point of this? For those of you who are intelligent, you're going to see this. You're going to say, okay, I see where he's going with this. So now, the very first thing I want to get to, let's flip the screen around, is I want to talk to you about failure. Because see, so many people come on here like Boyce, Watkins and Claude Anderson and the brother Polight, and they tell you, we just got to start a business. We just have to go out and we just have to build our own. And if we build our own, we'll be okay. What a lot of you don't understand is in business, 9 times out of 10, especially when you're first getting started, you're going to fail. And you need to ask yourself, in the event that you fail, what does your life look like? If you have to go out and file bankruptcy, what does your life look like? If that $25,000 or $50,000 that you invest in that business and it fails, can you afford that? See, everyone wants to talk about the Bentleys and the Rolls Royces and getting on the yachts and the gold shoes and going to the basketball game and the multiple wives. But no one wants to talk to you what failure looks like. And we have to highlight that because these things are extremely important. When you only have $25,000 to invest, I know you may think that that's a lot of money. That's chump change. That's peanuts. And trust me, I'm not trying to belittle you, young man. I'm trying to teach you if you're willing to learn. Now, the business that I run, it's a hybrid model. I have a venture capital / hedge fund business model. Now, the only people who can invest in my business are people that are accredited investors. And I'm going to teach you right now what an accredited investor is. So right here, let me drop this link in the chat for you because it's important and you're going to understand where I'm going in a second with this. An accredited investor, Rule 501 Regulation D of the Securities Act of 1933, Reg D, provides the definition for an accredited investor. Simply put, the SEC defines an accredited investor through the confines of income and net worth 2 ways. A natural person with an income exceeding $200,000 in each of the 2 most recent years, or joint income with a spouse exceeding $300,000 for those years in a reasonable expectation of the same income level in the current year. The next one, a natural person who has an individual net worth or a joint net worth with a person's spouse that exceeds $1 million at the time of purchase, excluding the value of the primary residence of such person. So understand, when someone comes and invests with me and they have $25,000 and they're an accredited investor, if they're making over $200,000 a year and that investment goes belly up and they lose that $25,000, you think they're going to be homeless? You think that they're crying or they're complaining? No. You think that they're going to have to file bankruptcy? Do you think it's going to change their standard of living when they're bringing in over $200,000 a year and they have over $1 million in net worth? It doesn't affect them at all. It doesn't affect them. But now when you see people dealing with Polight or people dealing with Boyce and they're taking their tax return, that's all the money they have. If you put your $5,000 into coaching or you put your $5,000 into education and that investment goes belly up or that education isn't good enough, what does your life look like? So the very first thing you need to do is you need to be taking calculated small risks. See, when I first got started, I started with network marketing. Got some experience, learned how to sell, got some personal development. Then I graduated to affiliate marketing. And I started selling products on JVZoo and started selling products on ClickBank. And then I started selling t-shirts through Teespring and learning pay-per-click marketing. And then I graduated to trading. I got into the whole Forex thing. Didn't really like it. Then got into the stock thing. A little bit okay. Then I fell into futures and then stumbled into real estate and then stumbled into crypto. I took gradual steps along the way. I didn't have a lottery ticket mentality. See, if you think that you're going to buy one course or one product or one service and you're going to make $1 million, you're delusional. If you think that you're going to buy some penny stock and you're going to just make $1 million and ride off to the sunset, you're delusional. So you have to have realistic expectations when you're looking to get into, entrepreneurship, and understand you're trying to build wealth over time. So you should be working full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune and allowing your business and your business skills to develop over time. So take that $25,000, take 20 of that and tuck that away somewhere, and take 5,000 of that and go out and get some education. Now, look at Brother Polight's page, Raccoon, Raise Your Consciousness. I'm not here attacking, but he claims to be a business coach and a business mentor. Look at all of his videos. Do you see any of these videos where he's actually showing you, not talking to you about business, but showing you, this is a piece of property that I just purchased. This is going to be how much it's going to cost to repair it. And then this is going to be the value of the property after. Is he showing you any of the things that would make you say he actually is investing in real estate? No. Now, if you don't believe me, I want you to go and watch these videos. He's talking about credit, but is he showing you anything about credit? See, back in the network marketing days, everyone used to always talk about your why. People say, why do you want to start a business? And people used to always say, well, their family. And I used to always say, the why doesn't matter if you don't know the how to. We can talk about real estate and credit till you're blue in the face. You need to show people that you're actually buying real estate. Now, why I'm doing this is I want to show you Meet Kevin. And I keep highlighting this because when you come to this man's page, you can clearly see your real estate coach. There's no guessing here as to what you're coming to. This is all about real estate. Look at the title of his videos. Bank just threatened to sell. I just accidentally brought a house on quicksand. Now, when you click on this video, these videos are 16 minutes of him walking you through a project that he's working on. So when you're looking for mentorship, what your social media platforms and your YouTube channels look like, basically the medium that you're looking to attract leads, it needs to reflect that. What the hell was this contractor thinking? Well, guess what? If you're buying real estate, you're going to have to work with what? Contractors. Well, he's showing you some of the things that he's going through with his contractors. Now, that goes back to education. We're talking about finding a mentor. Right now, it says, this is Meet Kevin. I don't make a dime from this. He's not paying me. I'm not an affiliate of his product. I'm teaching you how to find good mentors, credible mentors. When I come here, it says enroll in course for $419. So young man, you told me you got $25,000, right? You go tuck that you go tuck $24,500 of that in your bank account. You take $419 and you come and you take this course. I've taken this course. Let me show you the difference between what this person is doing, Meet Kevin, versus what you see over here. Do you see him at any of his real estate projects? Do you see him at the car dealership that he owns? You don't see that. Any of the cryptocurrency projects, you don't see that. Now come over to my channel real quick. Show you something else. This video I show you how to get business credit. I'm not talking about how to get business credit. I walk you through step A through Z. How to incorporate, where to incorporate, how to get a business telephone number, how to go and list yourself, how to get your business to properly show up in the search engines and index. I spent 49 minutes doing that for free. There's no way I could know this stuff if I was faking it. So I'm not just sitting up here riding in my car talking to you. I'm walking you through how to go to LegalZoom. Same thing with this video here in Bitcoin. I'm not talking to you about why you should buy Bitcoin. I'm showing you how to buy Bitcoin. So when you are buying training from someone, they need to be showing you tangible, hands-on skills. Like meet Kevin, for example. As I said, you come here, he does weekly live streams. 2 live streams a week. He's not talking to you about basic definitions. What's an REO? What's a flip? What's a mortgage? What's hard money lending? No, they're actually sitting down with his students and they're going over real deals that the students are trying to close on or get involved in. See, that's hands-on. That's real mentorship. You can go Google a bunch of definitions. After the ARV, that's easy. Anybody can go pull up a bunch of definitions. Is this person showing you tangible skills, right? Things that matter. Walking you through wedge deals. Telling you, I would do this deal. I wouldn't do that deal. Now let's look at Boyce. Look at this channel. Again, I'm not here to attack anyone. This is supposed to be a finance-based channel. All of these videos on this channel is just him sitting here with this shower curtain looking thing talking. Is he showing you anything though? Is he showing you anything? And see, these things matter because when you listen to people who are trying to tell you, buy my boot camp, buy my stock market course, the next thing you have to ask yourself is, if this is the millionaire boot camp, how many millionaires have you made? Now, I want to show you something, again, to highlight my point of looking for good mentors. When you come over here to Brother Polight's Instagram, and you're looking at I got a credit card from there, join recommendation, my dad was in the army. When you come over here to his Instagram page, do you see any real estate deals going on? Or do you see women, material things, women, him and his daughter at a track, him being an IG model, playing with guns, playing with women? Do you see anything that resembles business going on? Do you see anything that resembles real estate going on? Or do you see a person who's trying to market lifestyle to you? Is he giving you the basics? Is he showing you the wax on? Is he showing you the wax off? Or is he showing you things to entice you to make you not focused on the content, but focus on giving money away? Okay? Again, here's Boyce's other channel, and I'm not attacking him. But all of this is just him talking. None of this is him teaching. See, you can't, when you're dealing with business, you have to show me how to do something. Right? If I'm paying you $1,000+ or $1,500 or $2,000, I don't want to just listen to you talk all day. This is just him sitting here talking, sitting down talking. Again, not trying to plug myself, but when you come here, I'm showing you how to go and buy crypto. I'm showing you how to get business credit. Now, again, I want to then take I want to talk to you about people who actually do things, right, in different niches. This right here is the guy, Ivan on Tech. If you come to this man's channel right off the bat, do you see him sitting down in his bathroom? Do you see a bunch of cars and women? Or do you see it says all about blockchain for daily videos? Now, when you come here, I want to show you something. If you go to videos and you go to his oldest videos, he has videos going back 2 years, and he's all talking about coding and programming and things that are related to computer science and blockchain. Why is this important? Because it shows that this is a man who is dedicated to his field. So if I want to learn about blockchain technology, if I want to learn about coding and programming, I'm learning from a guy whose entire existence is dedicated to Crazy Java, coding tutorials, master of programming, code obfuscation. Why is it hard? And now he has an actual channel where he has a show every day. That he starts his show at 3 a.m. every day because he's over on the other side of the world, I think in Stockholm and like Sweden somewhere. Do you understand the commitment that is? That every day he's doing a show, he's streaming an hour show every day, teaching you about the current events and about blockchain technology. Now, when you come over to his website, look how professional his website is. Right? Look at this. Look at this. And then look at this. Hanging with Floyd Mayweather. Brother Polight post-consultation book. Brother Polight delivering his books. Do you see any real education teaching going on? Or do you see a bunch of talking going on? Now, let's look at his prices. Because, see, this stuff is important. Right here. He's charging you $14 a month, $34 per month, and $74 per month. He's not charging you $5,000, $10,000 for some coaching. 74, these are quality products. This man has hundreds of thousands of followers. He's consistently streaming a show every single day. That shows commitment. That shows seriousness to what you're doing. That's not somebody that's guessing. Versus coming over here and, Julia Roberts was suggested to play Harriet Tubman. That has nothing to do with business. Rapper T.I. appears in Jada Pinkett Smith to explain that this what this is fishing for traffic, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's knocking that. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that I would not want mentorship from a man that's this scattered. I wouldn't be looking to pay this man $1,000 for business coaching who's that scattered. Here's a completely, again, this is the guy Clement. Look at his page. Look what's over here. And see, you got to take the race element out of things. When you're looking to do business and get mentorship, can the person deliver you a quality, tangible product? How much money I made as a Facebook software engineer? I left Facebook for Algo Expert. My coding interview failures. Right here. He's selling you how to make it through a coding interview. Right here it goes. Google coding interview with a competitive programmer. They're actually going through an interview process. So if his free information on his page, 54 minutes of quality content of actually going through interview questions that you're going to get as a programmer, then I want to buy a product from a person whose entire channel and existence is dedicated to this. Now look how much his product is. $85. $85. I want you to think about that. These people are selling you products for less than $1,000. Yet, Brother Polight is selling you $3,500 mentorship. Yet you go to his page. Has he proven to any one of you that he owns real estate? Has he proven to any one of you that he owns a car dealership? He hasn't. Instead, what he's proven to you, based upon the allegations out here, is that he's not really that good at keeping his word. That's what he's shown you. Same thing over here. Yes, Boyce has a PhD. He may know some definitions and things of that nature. But what I want to learn from a person doing this, are you prepared for death? Or do I want to learn from a person like Ivan, who is interviewing industry experts? Every day he's committed to blockchain technology. I'm interested in crypto, and he's selling me a product for $79 or $74 a month. Do I want to learn from Meet Kevin, who's having twice a week live streams showing me how to market? Or do I want to focus on trying to learn from, a person who's scattered? Another thing you have to ask is, when I'm paying for mentorship, how much time does this person have to allocate towards me? If a man has multiple wives, he's all over the country, he's taking pictures in parties and things like that, how much time does he really have to mentor you? Right? He just doesn't. So these things matter. The quality matters. Another person I want to show you about is S&B Capital. When I first wanted to get into day trading, this is where I went. I went to S&B Capital. I think this was back in 2010. I came across a documentary series called Wall Street Warriors. I'll drop it in the chat for you guys. copy. At the time, I think I may have been a sophomore in college, and I was just so intrigued by this miniseries that these guys right here, this is almost 12 years ago, 11 years ago, they were on this documentary. They have a profile. This is an actual proprietary trading firm. Mike Bellafiore and Steven Spencer. These guys have over 15 years in the industry. So I can come here and I can see this is a real, look at the website. It's all about trading. I can come down here and I can see SMBU LLC. I can go pull up the actual incorporation, the entity. So these are people who are professionals. These are the people who are going to be teaching you. So you know their name, not their alias, not what they're hiding behind. They're not hiding behind an alias, right? These are their real names. They have actual time. Merritt Black. I actually learned how to trade futures through Merritt Black's course when I first got into it, of how to really actually hedge properly and get into futures. So understand that this type of stuff is important. When you come to their YouTube channel, Trading Insights from our NYC prop firm. I actually went and sat on this trading desk. I think it was for maybe even 3 months. I sat there and went through their training. When you come to their channel, look at their channel. If you go over here and you go to oldest videos, 11 years ago, think about this. So if I want to learn how to trade, do I want to learn from some 19, 20-year-old that's flashing a bunch of money, sitting on a beach, telling me I could just hit a few buttons? Or do I want to learn from people who have been doing this for 11 years? This YouTube channel's been around for 11 years. The entire channel is about trading and investing. Right? This type of stuff matters when you're looking to invest your capital to learn for a mentor. I'm learning from a mentor who has 11 years that I can verify. You can go back 11 years on his YouTube channel and see that these people have been making videos. As I said, you got 25,000, young brother. That's not a lot of money. Start small. Put that money away. Take calculated risk. Okay, I'm looking to invest 5,000. I'm risking 2 of it. Once the investment gets to a certain point, I'm looking to get out. This is what quality mentorship looks like. This is what professional mentorship looks like. This is what is worth paying. And notice, these products are not $3,500, right? We're talking about $85, $200, $500. The most you should ever pay for a course is $1,000. Anything over that, it better be coming with some extra bells and whistles. All of these things are extremely important. If a person's trying to mentor you, for example, if a person claims to be a trader and they're trying to sell you a course, you need to see a P&L. Show me some trades that you've actually taken, not on a demo, not on a simulator, but show me your P&L. How much money you made last year trading? If you claim to be in real estate, I should come to your YouTube channel and see real estate that you're involved in. If you claim to be if you claim to have a millionaire boot camp, then I should be able to find other people who went through that boot camp and became a millionaire. See, you have to, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't be optimistic, but you should also be realistic. And you should have a 3 to 5 year plan of when you're looking to buy products and services. And understand that one course isn't going to just make you rich overnight. I have no idea who Erica Williams is. So I couldn't give you any answer on who or what she is or what she does. I'm just simply showing you that this is what you should be looking to do. Because I get a lot of emails all the time from a lot of you asking me, what should I invest in? What should I not invest in? The very first thing you should invest in is education. And you also should ask yourself, can you afford to lose that money? Because this one course is not going to make you rich. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. Right? Now, can you get lucky and invest in some biotech penny stock that does 1,000x in a month? Can you buy some marijuana stock, some penny stock? Yes. But is that duplicatable? Can you rely on that? Can you repeat that? No. Start small. As I said, I started with network marketing. I graduated to affiliate marketing. worked my way up to, doing a little bit of drop shipping here or there. I still affiliate marketing. Got into trading, got into real estate, then got into crypto. Always be realistic with what you're looking to do. And you should be able to come to this person's channel and find what they're doing. As I said before, again, consistency. Those type of things matter. Not having a lottery ticket mentality, thinking that I'm just going to buy this course and after that I'm going to get rich. Because here's the reality. I've spent thousands of dollars on courses over the time. Information changes over time. What courses did Boyce teach while educating? He put his work as far as Boyce. He put in his work as education. Yeah, but what good is education if it's not duplicatable? Let me explain something to you. Right now, there are some people who are knowledgeable on VCRs. They have extreme amounts of information on VCRs. Guess what? In the marketplace right now, people are not looking for information about VCRs so they can go and sell them. You need information that's duplicatable. You need information that's practical. Ivan on Tech is giving you practical information for a marketplace that exists today. Boyce Watkins is not giving you any information from my assessment, from what I've seen, in my opinion, that's actually going to be duplicatable as far as to you being able to build wealth. Right? We can sit up here and talk about VCRs till we're blue in the face. No one's looking to buy VCRs. Right? So I need to be learning from a person who's in the marketplace for the particular product or service that I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for real estate, do I want to learn from this guy who can go Google a bunch of definitions and give it to me, but his lifestyle nor his profile shows me that he's involved in that? Or do I want to go learn from a person right here who from zero to millionaire and beyond? Do I want to learn from a person whose actually entire page is about real estate and real estate investing? How cash flow keeps you poor. The only 4.5% back everything credit card. These are the people I want to learn from. Right? I want to learn from people who actually have real world experience, who are actually not trying to price gouge me. And then another thing is, I don't want a person who's trying to manipulate me. I don't want a person who's trying to bait me in with race and with current events that's happening with race. I don't want that, because that means that you're making emotional decisions and you're not making logical decisions. As I said to you before, in my business, I'm dealing with accredited investors. They're making over $200,000 a year. If they lose their investment, their life still goes on. This young man who hit me up in my inbox, if that young man loses that $25,000, he's done. Look at Crypto Roots. That $100,000 completely destroyed and changed his life. So see, we go back to the Mr. Miyagi, right? We go back to this right here. We go back to this scene with Mr. Miyagi. Let me bring this over here for you so you can see it. Right now, some of you, this is the wax on, the wax off. This is the paint the fence. This is the sand the floor. Some of you are sitting here, you're saying, this is basic. You're not teaching us anything. And you will be the ones that fail. Because then when Mr. Miyagi said to him, I've actually been teaching you. And he started to attack him and telling him, wax on, wax off, sand floor, paint fence. Those are all moves. See, part of being a good businessman or woman is understanding the basics. The basics is, if you're asking me what to invest in, that means you don't know what you're doing. And you need to go invest in education. Now you got to start sizing up your mentor. Do you want to learn from Raikkoon, who's showing you a bunch, look, cars, and just him talking about superficial stuff? Or do I want to learn from someone like this, who's actually doing it? And they're also selling me better products for $85. Now, yes, there's some upsells in here towards the end. But my point is, the quality of these products versus this product is completely different. The quality of this product, I can afford to take a $74 loss. I can afford to take a $100 loss. So these type of things matter when you are looking to get into a business. And as I said before, You gotta take a step back and stop focusing on, the why, the emotional things. The person sitting on the beach, the person telling you, oh, you just gotta click a few buttons and you'll get rich. Because guys, I've been there, done it, and I've seen it all. None of that stuff works. You have to have a plan, and you have to be willing to adjust that plan as you go. Because things will change as you go. And you're going to constantly keep having to reinvent yourself and learn new things. It's never going to be that simple. But because business is a contact sport, you learn business, by doing business. You don't learn business by reading a bunch of books. You get surface level knowledge, and then you have to go out into the real world and do these things. There are a lot of good mentors out here, and then there are bad mentors. Stay away from the lifestyle marketing, because this all he's doing is marketing his lifestyle. This is lifestyle marketing. There are a ton of people on IG who are marketing women, drinking alcohol, right? Traveling. What does that have to do with business? What does that have to do with real estate, right? What do these women have to do with real estate? What does this have to do with real estate? What he's trying to show you is he's trying to sell you success. Do you see any of that type of stuff over here? Learn Python in 10 days. He's talking about engineering. Is he talking to you about traveling the beaches of the world? Does he have some magic software that you're just going to push and make you millions of dollars? Wax on, wax off. Basics. Committed to the content. Quality website. Again, S&B Capital, 11 years. You can't fake something for 11 years. You can scour the internet. You will not find any scams about them. Right? These things matter. All of these things are important. Like I said, you want to learn about crypto? You want to learn about Bitcoin? Go over here to Ivan on Tech every day. He streams a live show at 3 a.m. Eastern time for me. I guess he must be on like Central, Pacific time, or whatever. And I'll drop these in the chat so you guys can go and look. That's the difference between a person who's serious about what they're doing and giving you good mentorship and a person who's just giving you a bunch of fluff. Seriousness. Look at this. All about real estate. Touring the most dangerous homes for sale. Right? Graham Stephan is another guy talking about personal finance. All of these things matter and you can learn. Now, does he sell products? Yes, but he's selling you things that he uses. Like even here in this video up here, he's talking about Ray Dalio and the $1 billion bet that he has on the stock market going down. And then he goes and buys some stock. He goes and buys some ETFs. He's using the Robinhood app. He's not talking to you about it. Go again, not bashing Boyce, but go and watch his videos. All of his videos is him doing this. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help you build wealth. And you don't know the quality of his product. See, I judge a person based upon their free content. Go and watch this video I did, how to get business credit. There's 49 minutes of content. I'm not talking about Popeye's chicken. I'm not talking about Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm not talking about what's happening with the ADOS and FBA for 15 minutes. We're simply focused on how to get business credit. This video over here where I'm talking about how to buy Bitcoin. It's 12 minutes of content. That's the kind of stuff that you want to be buying from someone. Because if their free content is packed with information, then you know if they're selling you something, it has quality behind it. This is garbage. This is not something I want. Look, more women. Now you have to ask yourself as black men, why does this type of garbage make you interested? Why does this make you interested, but this doesn't? How can this get your attention, but this doesn't? See, you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, why is that? Why is it that black men can find value in this? To the point where that would make them give him $100,000. You know what? That's a good idea. Let's go to the Black Business School. I'll go look at it right now. not a bad website. Let's pull it up. I'll bring it over for you. It's not a bad website. It's good. I don't see anything wrong with the website. You know, I don't see anything wrong with this website at all. I don't see anything wrong with it. But you're missing my point. If I came here or here, after looking at this and listening to him speak, there's no content here. Now, after hearing what people had to say about the product, it lines up with the things that people say about his products, right? That is, you know, it's things that I can find for free. There's like no real, I don't need a person I don't need to pay $1,000 to get definitions, right? I don't need that. You can Google definitions. And I think a lot of you are missing that. When you come over here, they're having live stream. I brought this product. I can tell you, they're sitting down doing weekly live streams, twice a week. And they're going over real deals and problems that investors are having in the marketplace. And this man has what? 8 years of experience in the real estate game, proven track record, and he's going over the deals with you as opposed to just giving you definitions. These are the things that I want to learn from. People I want to learn from. And also, guys, there's 95 of you watching this, so please hit the like button as you come in and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Now, a lot of you have reached out to me and asked me, you know, why don't I go into some type of mentoring and stuff like that? And to be quite honest with you, I'm not interested in that. I don't really see a lot of money in it for what I'm doing. But even me, for example, right? If you come over to my channel, my Instagram page, you know, I don't post that often. You know why? Because I'm busy running my business. Look at my YouTube channel. I make 3 videos a week? YouTube is a hobby for me right now. I'm growing this over time, and maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, this may be my full-time thing. But people who actually have real businesses, they don't have time to make these. Think about this. How good of a teacher can Boyce be if he's making videos all day long? Right? How good of a teacher can he be if he's sitting here all day long making videos? So you have to ask yourself that question. See, when you're a legitimate businessman, that's why you only see me make 2 to 3 videos a week, because I don't have enough time in a day to make these videos. I don't have time to be an IG model, right? If this man is doing all of these businesses, he's a mentor, he has multiple wives, he has children, you have to sleep throughout the day. When is he going to have time to stay on top of the real estate game? See, these are things that you have to ask yourself. These are questions that you have to ask when you're looking for mentorship. How much time does he actually put into his craft? If he's sitting here all day long making these videos and worried about everything else that's going on, when is he staying on top of the market? When is he staying on top of what's happening in the stock market? What's happening in the options market? What's happening in the crypto market? How? There's not enough time in a day for a person to do that. It's just impossible. So you have to know and you learn how to use discernment. Again, this entire channel over here for SMB Capital is all about trading. SMB Options Tribe, SMB Options Tribe. And I'm not telling you to go out and buy these products. So please, you use a little bit of discernment. I'm simply showing you what good mentorship looks like. 5 years ago, sitting down with some of the best and brightest in the industry, some of the best traders in the industry, come sit here at SMB Capital. This is quality content that they're giving you. Dr. Brett Steenbarger, one of the top trading psychologists and trading coaches in the world, comes here and speaks often. Brian Shannon. All of these things are extremely important. Top traders in the industry. You come over here to, let's get rid of this. You come right over here to Ivan on Tech. He's interviewing Richard Hart, one of the top thought leaders in the crypto space. Andreas Antonopoulos, right? These are the kind of things that matters when, like credibility, when you're looking for mentorship. All of these things matter. Who you're learning from. What do they have to offer? Understanding risk and reward. If all I have is $25,000, the last thing you should be doing is giving that to someone. The last thing, if all you have is $25,000, like I said, you need to be investing in education. And you need to be learning how to crawl before you walk. Going through A before you can get to B. Looking at Mr. Miyagi and going back to this scene in The Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. Learning the basics. Crawling before you walk. Then going out into the real world and implementing those things. And being realistic that it's going to take you 3 to 5 years before you really get that business off of the ground. Working part-time on your fortune. Working full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. Those are the type of things that you need to be focusing on. And with that being said, let's look at the chat real quick, see what's going on. Guys, hit that like button as you come in. I own a lot of crypto. Python has a friggin' 1,000 modules. I'm a big fan of Python for particular projects. Tron is dirt. I agree. Tron is one of the worst projects out. It's definitely a scam. Boyce Bootcamp equals trash. I would agree. Basura, cool. What are the information? What about the information on microfutures? Find a good person. I mean, most of the basic stuff on microfutures is right there. Self-teaching. I'm on Socratica YouTube channel and I brought a few books. Good. Thoughts on the 48 Laws of Power. That's my favorite book. I always post that book all the time. Let me flip it over for you. I still have, you can see how beat up my copy is. Look at this. I've had this book for extremely long. This is one of the best books that you could ever get. A lot of knowledge and wisdom in that book. 48 Laws of Power. Yes, Python has a lot of modules. But see the thing, the Spear, one of the biggest problems people have with programming, because I code and program. I program in C#, C++, and Python. Is where I really work on projects at. The thing you have to understand is you can't get stuck in that course. It's called imposter syndrome, right? Where like you take a whole bunch of courses and then like you can kind of memorize the programming languages. Like for example, you know all the different functions. You may know how to use different loops and while loops and for loops. But then when they ask you to build a project, if you don't really understand what the language or what the commands are actually doing, that's where a lot of people go wrong. They try to memorize things instead of really trying to just understand the language and just be a better programmer. Because programming is all about solving problems, right? So you get a problem and you just figure out how to solve it. And rather than remember, well, I have to put a for loop here and a while loop here and an if statement here and an else if here, don't try to remember just the commands, because that's what happens to a lot of these training modules. No, I'm in IT, but I program, etc. What about exchanges like New York Stock Exchange, Chicago Board of Trade? Those are just exchanges that facilitate trade. That has nothing to do with you as far as learning. Those are just exchanges that facilitate trade. That they hold stocks or they hold commodities, futures, etc. It's nothing special about the stock exchange. No, I just know coding from expanding my knowledge. Yeah, Tron is absolute garbage. I wouldn't touch Tron with the. First of all, you gotta look at this. You have to understand. Most of those Chinese cryptos are scams. Anything that's coming out of Asia or East Asia, most likely is a scam. China has heavy capital controls, so it's hard to get money out of the country. So what happens is they create a lot of these pump and dump cryptocurrencies, whether it's Ant shares and Neo, whether it's nulls, whether it's NEM, NEM. There's a lot of these Chinese cryptos that keep popping up because, see, one thing about the Asian culture, what a lot of you don't understand, gambling is big over there. So a lot of these people, they don't mind investing in like Ponzi schemes like BitConnect and stuff like that because that's their culture. They just invest in scams. See, over here, we have a lot of freedom and we have a lot of regulation. So it's very hard for like scams to be big. Over in China, because of that culture, they don't mind gambling on things and investing in things. And the smart money, they're using these as pump and dumps to get money out of the country. So when you look at Justin's son, the what is he? I guess the founder, CEO of Tron. Every week he has an announcement about an announcement about an announcement. But who's actually using Tron? Like, what is being built on top of Tron? No one. You know, most of the cryptocurrencies are not being used. You know, like, let's be honest. You got to really sit back and ask yourself that question. Like, what are these cryptocurrencies being used for? You know, like, people use Tether when Bitcoin is supposed to be an actual, you know, cryptocurrency. But yet people are using, you know, Tether to facilitate trade and using it as a stable coin and a currency when that's the whole purpose of what Bitcoin should be. So it's a lot of, you know, manipulation in the crypto market, and you have to know how to kind of navigate that in what you're investing in. You know, China is known for knocking off products. Like, oh, this is the China. Remember, you know, Neo was supposed to be the not NIM. I meant to say Neo. Neo was supposed to be the Chinese Ethereum, right? And then look at the project. It crashed and burned. Just like people were actually going to look at the roadmap for a lot of these cryptos out of China, and people were taking the pictures of the actual people on the project, and most of the people on the team didn't even exist. You know, so you have to know, like, don't be one of those people who invest in things because it's cheap. See, one thing my mentor always told me is, when you're dealing in like the stock market and financial markets, most of the time things are cheap for a reason. Because all of the known information, we live in the information age. Most of the known information is already priced in, right? So if something's worth like 3 pennies, it's not just about the market cap. Like, it's cheap for a reason. It's cheap to entice people like you who don't have a lot of money, going back to the lottery ticket mentality, to say, well, hey, you know, I can't buy a lot of Bitcoin with $1,000, but, you know, for $1, I can buy 1,000 coins. See, that's the trap. And the big money understands that, because if you look at the daily transactions and if you look at the order book, there's not a lot of liquidity to get in and out of a lot of these coins. See, right now, if I had $25,000, $45,000, or $55,000 invested in, you know, let's say a Tron or one of these coins, and I go on Binance and I click that sell button, no one's going to fill me. There's no real liquidity to get in and get out. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have the actual liquidity to get in and get out. See, that was the trap with a lot of those altcoins, and you got so many people stuck in those coins because you can't get out because there's not enough daily volume. As soon as you go to hit sell, no one's willing to fill you at the price. They're going to fill you at some crazy price well below where you want to get out of. So you have to know what you're doing. Neo is still around, but my point is, it's garbage. Like, look at the daily transaction volume. Go to the GitHub repository. There's no one developing nothing on these projects. Most of them are garbage. That's just the reality. 90% of these cryptocurrencies are going to go to zero. And technically, a crypto can't go to zero because, you know, for those of them are like a loss, so you can't really sell what's lost. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it's going to get to the point where they're just worth nothing. And you have to know that. That goes back to, again, mentorship, right? When you come over here to Ivan on Tech, you don't see him promoting Tron. You don't see them promoting this type of garbage because people know it's all pump and dumps. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make money. See, this is what people don't understand. You can make money on a scam. You can make money on a scam. People made money in BitConnect. It was a Ponzi scheme. People made money with Bernie Madoff. It still was a Ponzi scheme. So this is what I'm trying to say. You have to understand the value proposition and mentorship and who you're learning from and what they're teaching you. Are they teaching you to constantly invest in scams and schemes? Or are they teaching you legitimate business, right? Are they giving you legitimate fundamentals about how to actually trade? Or are they trying to get you in the latest pump and dump? That's just not smart. So now let's see what else is in here. Ripple is one of the worst investments ever. Most likely Ripple is going to be deemed a security and they're going to have some massive penalties that come through. I would not be touching Ripple at all. And Ripple, at the end of the day, is not a cryptocurrency. You need to go and do your due diligence on Ripple, Ripple Labs, and you need to understand that that's a pre-mined coin. What that means is that there's a lot of supply that you don't even know about. Like with Bitcoin, there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. We know that because it's priced into the code. With Ripple, you have to understand that there's a whole bunch of XRP that currently isn't in the circulating supply, but eventually will be coming into the circulating supply. So that means that who knows how big the supply is? Who knows who owns how much of the supply? Because it's a pre-mined coin. So when you're dealing with pre-mined coins, you got to be careful, because you don't know when they're going to dump that huge supply that's not even counted in the circulating supply. So any coin that's pre-mined, I don't want nothing to deal with. I stay away from it. You know, if I was you, I would stay away from pre-mined coins. Period. Now again, that doesn't mean you can't make money. I want to get that clear. Ripple can pump 40%, 100%. My thing is, are you going to be smart enough to know when to get out? That goes back to education. But that's how you know Boyce is not intelligent, because Boyce invest. Let me take that back. Boyce is highly intelligent. I shouldn't say that. That's how you know that Boyce isn't a sound investor, because no one with intelligence, when it comes to investing, would have touched BitConnect. Number one, who owned BitConnect? Remember, BitConnect was actually a company. Who were the people behind that company? It was a company promoting a cryptocurrency. Like any person with investing knowledge, how are they making money? If they have a trading bot that can make you money, follow me. Why would you give it away to poor people for $100 or $500? Why not just keep the trading bot and make this 7% every day for yourself? If you had a trading bot that can make you 7% every day, why give it away? Why not go to Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, an investment bank, right? Or go to a hedge fund and license it for billions, hundreds of billions. Why would you go after little poor people? See, any person with a brain would be able to pick that out and say that doesn't make sense. So, I can be sure that I can go to the GitHub repository. So when you get a chance, I'm going to put the link in the chat for you. Give me a second. I'll pull it up for you so you can go and do your own due diligence right here. Copy, right? So now this is what is known as a repository, and you can actually go and pull up the code so you can see. You can actually go look at the Bitcoin code. See, in Bitcoin, we live by saying, I don't need to trust when I can verify. You can actually go to the Bitcoin right here to the repository, and you can pull up all of the information that you need to know about Bitcoin. So I don't have to guess how many Bitcoin exist. I can just pull up the code. I can see how the mining rewards work. I know this stuff because it's built into the code. Now, if you don't really know much about coding and programming, that's a personal issue. So that I can't really tell you too much about that. But again, as I said before, I don't have to guess about Bitcoin. I can go verify with the code, right? I can go look at the block explorer. I know every 10 minutes, right, a new block is going to be formed and 12.5 Bitcoin is going to come out, and then the halving is going. I can verify these things with certainty. So although Satoshi Nakamoto is anonymous, you have to understand you're dealing with open source. Like Bitcoin is an open source protocol. So anyone can work on it and anyone can view the code. That's the definition of open source. So that's the difference. When it comes to Chainlink, I don't really know a lot about Chainlink. So I wouldn't be able to tell you much about Chainlink. Right now, I'm really starting to look into Tezos and 0x. Those are the new projects. Because I have a little bit of Tezos, but I never really took a lot of time to do my due diligence as far as like the technology. Because guys, you have to understand, blockchains, Bitcoin in itself is complicated, right? You have the mining side of Bitcoin, right? You have the peer-to-peer network. You have the mining nodes that got to communicate with each other, right? You have the mining software. Then you have to look at the actual, the computer science aspect behind like the halvening. You got to look at the difficulty adjustment, the block explorer. Like there's so many pieces and components, public keys, private keys, sharding, etc. Like Literally, it could take you a year or two just to learn Bitcoin in and out. So when you start looking at, like, there's thousands of cryptocurrencies. So for example, let me just show you guys, like, literally there's so many different cryptos, it's impossible to keep up with every single project. Like, look at this. Like there's literally thousands of different, I think there's like 3,000 different cryptocurrencies. Like, look, you have Aurora, GX Chain, USDK, KNC, NEX, BNK, ELA, Noah Coin, Phantom, Rapio Credit Network, Decentraland, Bread, Factum. There's no way one person can understand and know every single project in and out. See, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. I've been in the Bitcoin space since like 2011. I've been investing. I made a lot of money in a bunch of pump and dumps, like, pump and dumps like Ripple, pump and dumps like Substratum, pump and dumps like Steemit, back when you can game the Steemit rewards. But I understand Bitcoin is the OG. It has the network effect. It's the most secure blockchain, right? It's never been 51% attacked. Like, there's just so much depth to the game theory behind Bitcoin. It's just, you can go on and on of all of the technical aspects, the elliptical curve digital signature algorithm, right? And the Merkle tree, and it's just so much stuff. It's computer science stuff. It's impossible for me to be able to know about, Chainlink, Litecoin, Bitcoin SV, Stellar Lumens, Tron, Cardano, even though I own a lot of it. So sometimes, like, I'll buy a project based off the surface level, because, like, you look at Monero. The technology behind Monero and how it, masks transactions is completely different than, an open public ledger like Bitcoin. So you can go on and on and on and on and on. But at the end of the day, I know that if Bitcoin fails, everything else would fail, because it's the most secure blockchain, and it's the most stable. It's been attacked. It's went through everything you can think of. It went through the whole Silk Road mess. It went through the whole government sanctions and regulations. A lot of these cryptos are going to be deemed securities in the future as well. Most coins are like penny stocks, pump and dump. I agree, 100%, John Hill. Most of those coins are dead, no trading value. And that's what I was saying earlier about, like, right now, for example. If you had $50,000 invested in, where's that Wan coin at, right? Like, where's Wan coin at? That's a coin. I had $10,000 invested in Wan coin, and I'm probably going to lose it all, right? Let's see if this even here, Wan chain. Here we go, right? Look at this coin, right? From the all-time highs, if you go all the way to all-time highs, look at this. It pumped all the way to $8, and it's dead. It's dead. Look at the 24-hour volume. Zoom in. No one's using this. Look at the 24-hour volume. $624,000. $624,767. There's no volume going on. There's no volume happening. So right now, if you had a $50,000 position and you want to hit out of there, there are no bids to hit into. Who are you going to sell to? There's no volume really happening. Because I guarantee you, most of this volume is wash trading. What a lot of you don't understand, wash trading is where the exchanges is basically just buying and selling back and forth with itself. Right? It's just bots, it's algos hitting on a bid, buying on an offer. There's no real humans. I guarantee you, this $625,000, this isn't actually real people facilitating trade in here. So when you go to try to hit into these bids and sell, you're not going to be able to get out. They're dead, right? So now this is I'm going to take a big rip in this coin, because I'm holding a bag in this coin, right? But I don't mind, because I made so much money in the other coins during the pump. I don't care. And that's what you have to understand. And then I also have my coin. I do some, staking and stuff like that in different cryptocurrency projects. But, I know for a fact that money I have in this project is done, because there's no liquidity. Who am I going to sell to? And that's why it's important to understand that you don't want to be buying things based upon what Boyce said, right? You don't want to buy stuff based upon what this guy is telling you. You think this guy knows the stuff that I'm talking about right now? Has Brother Polight ever? Do you see him actually showing you how to buy Bitcoin? Is he talking to you about the elliptical curve digital signature algorithm, Merkle trees? Have you ever even heard him go into depth and knowledge about public key, private key cryptography, right? Does he know the history of digital money? Like none of this page says anything about that type of stuff. And this is why you have to take your time and really pick and choose who you're learning from. I guarantee you, if you go to Ivan on Tech, he knows about this stuff. He knows about sharding. He knows about the pump and dumps. Like, for example, Satoshi Nakamoto most likely is a group of people. It's not just one person, right? And if you go back to the original Bitcoin white paper, you can understand like what he was trying to do and the way it's set up, that it had to be a group of people doing that, right? But then over time, you know, the people like Peter Todd and stuff like that who got involved in the space, I think Gavin Andreessen, like they start implementing and adding things to Bitcoin. And then, you know, new people like Blockstream, they took over the project and they're trying to add new things like Liquid and the Lightning Network and stuff like that. Again, do you ever hear Brother Polight talking about any of that type of stuff? No. He's just talking to you about come to his course and come to his class. He's not teaching you anything. He's not showing you anything. And that's the difference. So let's see what else is going on here. Bitcoin is a global currency. Absolutely. Like that article that just came out about Jack Dorsey going into Africa. That's big business. You know, a lot of you don't understand. That's going to be big. True, no product, but very thoroughly researched. 401 and 401k, Ralph. Nothing. I think ADA is a scam. I don't think that it's a scam. I just think that they're over-promising and they're going to under-deliver. I have a big bag of Cardano. A big bag of Cardano. I like the guy, Hoskinson, because he worked on the project with the, on Ethereum with Vitalik. So he has some, you know, experience, but they're not delivering anything as of right now. So ADA to me should be a platform to build on. But when you have Ethereum, think about it. Most ERC20 tokens are being launched on what? Ethereum. You know, you got to look at it. Look at Ethereum like the internet, for example, right? If you look at the HTTP protocol, right? That's the protocol that runs the internet. Who's making most of the money from that protocol? It's not the internet itself. It's companies like Amazon, right? It's companies like Netflix. You would think that all of the transactions that's happening with, you know, people mailing orders, that would boost FedEx stock or boost UPS. But most of the value in the capture is happening with what? Most of the value is being captured by Amazon. Most of the value is being captured by eBay, right? It's being captured by the people who are utilizing the trucks. It's the same thing with the HTTP protocol. When you look at it, like most of the people the internet's not making all of the money. It's the websites and the domain names. It's the people on the outside, mainly the middlemen. And it's the same thing when you look at Ethereum. Like if you look at all of the wealth that was created by tokens being built on top of the ERC20 tokens on top of the Ethereum platform, the actual market cap of all of those companies, if you look at VeChain, et cetera, is bigger than Ethereum itself. So the technology is very powerful, but I don't think that Ethereum is going to capture most of the value. The value is going to be the companies that are actually built on top of Ethereum. So you need to start looking at like what projects are being built on Ethereum versus not, you know, necessarily just investing in Ethereum. So, but that's my point. It's not that ETH can or can't scale. It's that most of the value is going to be the things that are built on top of Ethereum. It's not going to be Ethereum itself. You know, it's the same thing with the internet. Because remember, all of these blockchains are just protocols, right? You know, you have the Bitcoin protocol, the Ethereum protocol. These are just protocols that has a series of commands and, you know, things that you do and checks and balances. It's the same as the HTTP protocols. All the same things. Nothing different, right? So the internet is a powerful tool, but the internet doesn't make all the money. It's the companies that are on top of the internet, on top of the protocol, that end up making the money. And that's what's going to end up happening to Ethereum. So with that being said, let's see what everyone is saying. EOS is just sitting there. EOS is garbage. Bitcoin is money. Ethereum is trying to be the world computer. I wouldn't even say Bitcoin is money. I would say Bitcoin is more of a store of value, because once the network clogs up, who's going to pay $70 fees? So anyway, guys, with that being said, I just want to wrap this up. Again, going back to what I said about being an accredited investor, you have to understand what you're investing in, understand risk and reward. As I said before, a person who's making over 200 grand a year, they can afford to take a $25,000 loss. To the young brother who's looking to, get started, invest in education. There's plenty of people on the internet that they have great track records. They have great content for free. As I said, you can come to their website, affordable products. Same thing with Meet Kevin. Beautiful entire channel dedicated to investing in real estate. These are people who you need to be buying products from and buying services from and getting mentorship from. This is not good, like standing in front of nice cars. This is lifestyle marketing. This is not something that I would want to be investing in. This is not things that I would want to be putting my money into. I want to be in like this right here. None of this is showing me. As I said before, you come to this video on my channel. This is 49 minutes of me showing you how to start a business, how to get business credit. I'm not guessing. I'm not making this up. You go here to this Bitcoin video, how to buy Bitcoin. This trick can help you build credit for your children. I'm actually walking you through step by step and showing you what you need to be doing in order to get the business credit, in order to buy the Bitcoin, etc. So I'm going to leave this video here. For those of you who are watching this video, please like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so that you can be notified in the future. All my other social media links are below. And with that being said, guys, have a blessed and beautiful night.